I didn't know what it was back then. I think it was just stupidity. I could have did it part-time, right?
Uh,
I didn't think about doing it part-time.
yeah, yeah.
But my dad, my uncles were all entrepreneurs in the car service business. I saw them working for themselves. I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States when I was 3 from the country of Haiti.
Mm,
Um, Haitian people have a long history of being resilient.
yeah.
And as you probably know, they were the first free Black nation who took it by force. So I think all of that was in me, and I just didn't know it at the time. I didn't know my mom's family until I was pretty old. Maybe 10 years ago, I knew my mom's side of the family. She passed when I was young. So I didn't know any of her family. And I went to Haiti and found out that I had an uncle who was a real estate mogul. So it was in my DNA. So
What?
that's what gave me the guts. It was in there somewhere, and I just went out there and took a chance.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Q Edmonds. Excited to be here today. Y'all know I say that. That's in my intro every time, but it's so real. I'm excited. One of the things I love to do is to meet new people and to learn their story, learn their processes, peek through their lens. And y'all heard me say that before. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but it's really like the highlight of my day. And today's no different. Listen, we have somebody who has experience, has 40 years in the game, knows what he's talking about, does coaching, very, very well known in his market. I'll let him tell you what market it is. But I'm expecting a great conversation. I know he's going to drop, plenty of nuggets for you all. And so I want to introduce you to Mr. Phil Georges. Mr. Phil, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. So good to have you here. And listen, I want us to dive right in. I would love for you just to tell the people what your main focus is these days. Would love for you, if you want to give us a little bit of an origin story about how you got into real estate. We love origin stories. And then, of course, man, tell them where you are. Tell them what markets you're operating in. And so, sir, Mr. Georges, you got the floor, sir.
Okay, so origin story. I love my origin story. So I saw an infomercial on TV. I'm a microbiologist with a college degree in microbiology. And early on, I was 24 years old. I kind of said to myself, this is not going to be my future.
Mm,
And I saw a infomercial, said get rich overnight. You know how those commercials go. I went to a weekend seminar in New York City back in 1984 and did the craziest thing on earth. I quit my job off of one seminar. My dad thought I was insane. I had a good city job, making benefits and good money. And I just dove right into real estate. Okay, that's the beginning.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
However, them riches overnight did not happen.
Mm.
I was struggling, to say the least.
Mm.
I walked into a deal 6 months after that seminar at the New York City auction. I bought a shell of a property for $27,000. And if you prorate that number to today, that's probably, I don't know, it's a lot of money today. But back then it was a fortune to a 24-year-old with very little savings. It was the complete shell. It had no windows, no doors, no kitchens, no baths, nothing. And I figured I would renovate this and make a fortune and live happily ever after. Well, I had a couple of contractors come in and they were telling me how much it would be to renovate the unit to put it back in service. And all the numbers came in fairly close. One gentleman came in and he said, it's going to cost you $150,000. And I said, oh, that's no problem. That's pretty much where everybody was in line. And he said, no, that's not your problem, young man. Your problem is it's not going to be worth $150,000 after I fix it. You're going to be losing money. And I said, what? And I did a little homework and I found out he was absolutely right. It would not cash flow. I'd be in debt. And I did what a 24-year-old would do at the time. I walked away from my $27,000 and said, well, that's just the way it's going to be. And, rather than facing a foreclosure, New York City did an eminent domain just before the foreclosure. So basically I gave back the property, lost all of my money, but I didn't have a foreclosure on my thing. What that taught me is stay educated, be educated, know what you're doing before you jump in. And I've been a lifelong learner since.
Man, what an origin story. I want to find out more where you are now, but I want to ask this question before I do that. What gave you the confidence to quit your job? Like it had to be something in you from when you were younger. Maybe your dad put in you, your family put in you, your mom, your parents. What gave you the confidence to quit your job? Because I know it's a crazy idea, but you did it. I know it had to pull from something inside of you. So what gave you the confidence to do that?
I don't know what it was back then. I do know now. I didn't know what it was back then. I think it was just stupidity. I could have did it part-time, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think about doing it part-time.
Yeah.
But my dad, my uncles were all entrepreneurs in the car service business. I saw them working for themselves. I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States when I was 3 from the country of Haiti. Haitian people have a long history of being resilient.
Yeah.
And as you probably know, they were the first free Black nation who took it by force. So I think all of that was in me and I just didn't know it at the time. I didn't know my mom's family until I was pretty old. Maybe 10 years ago, I knew my mom's side of the family. She passed when I was young. So I didn't know any of her family. And I went to Haiti and found out that I had an uncle who was a real estate mogul. So it was in my DNA, so that's what gave me the guts. It was in there somewhere and I just went out there and took a chance.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad you said that because confidence alone can cause us to do stupid things.
Absolutely.
But confidence, like you said, mixed with education, you say stay educated, right? Education mixed with discipline, but it mixed with intentionality. You fuse all those things together, then you can find success. But most of the time, there is something innate. It could be gut, it could be the voice speaking to you. It's something that in us that make us say, I feel like this is the way to go. But after we got the confidence, then of course go to education, all that stuff. That's the right.
Well, I think that's the biggest obstacle to, I would say 90% of people is that fear, false evidence appearing real or forget everything and run, however you want to characterize that first step. People are afraid to take it because I don't know what they think is on the other side. It's either swing and miss or swing and hit. I'm okay with swinging and missing,
Yeah. But that's the thing. The fear, it paralyzes you, it blinds you, it causes you to think irrationally because all you can think about is the fear. And so
Right,
that's why sometimes they say you got to do it scared, right? And
right.
so in your case, you had the confidence. Some people got all the knowledge in the world and don't have the confidence to push past the
Absolutely.
fear. And so that's
Eh,
why I say all these things fused together, that's what's really going to benefit you.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
What you'll find on the other end of the spectrum when they have all that knowledge is that they are stuck in what I call or has been called analysis paralysis. They're going to analyze it over and over and over, and then the deal is gone or the opportunity passed them by. I think most people need to find what is characterized as the minimum viable product, right?
Mm,
Just
mm.
just go in with the least amount of information that you need, mind you,
Yeah,
to start,
yeah.
right? Because if I know something, Q, 5 minutes before you, and I tell it to you, I become a genius
Hmm.
because, oh, wow, he knew that,
Yeah, yeah,
and I just learned it 5 minutes ago, though.
yeah.
So if you take that mindset that no one knows everything, you just got to learn it as you go, on the job learning. And that's what I did. And, after that, horrible beginning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, where are you now, Mr. Phil? Like, what powers you now? What are your hands in? Where's your feet planted? What do you do now?
Well, I am basically a multifamily investor at this stage in my game. I started off, in New York City. Property in New York City was too expensive for me. So I started driving down to Camden, New Jersey and buying cheap properties, making a profit. And after I had a whole bunch of those, I said, wow, I ended up buying stuff in New York City, and that propelled me to buying multifamily in 3 states. So, I currently hold properties 50 units and above in 3 different states.
Gotcha.
But it was a process. It wasn't an overnight success. It was a process of, learning, understanding, taking action.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad. I love talking to people like you. And so I'm gonna ask this question, and I would love if you'll answer it two ways, right?
Mhm.
So I would love to know have you identified core strategies that help you business wise, but also that helps you personally. I know some people do meditation, hikes, different things like that, reading, but are there core strategies that you have identified for you that works for you on the business side and that also works for you on the personal side?
Okay, I'll give you a multifaceted answer. You mentioned meditating and that kind of stuff. When I was young, um, Tony Robbins was just getting started. I know everyone knows who he is now, but he was a relative new face. And somewhere in there, he talked about visualizing your success.
Hmm.
And I thought back when I heard him say that to high school basketball,
Mm-hmm.
and I had sprained my ankle during a game, and I couldn't play. And I would sit at home visualizing my shots going in, not knowing what I was doing. I was just visualizing shots going in as I laid there with my ankle twisted. And then when I came back, I was a pretty good shooter from just visualizing it. Now, I didn't know that's what happened. I was a teenager. Fast forward, I hear Tony Robbins talk about visualizing things. And, people talk nowadays about vision boards and all that kind of stuff. Um, he gave some reference of that. And what I did is I would visualize my success. I would visualize the things I wanted. So back then I visualized owning a Mercedes. I visualized a house that I wanted to live in. And I put them both in the visor of my car. And every day I would sit there and stare at them and say, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. And I'd stare at them.
Yeah.
And one day, believe it or not, I came home. I'm super tired. The kids are running around. So I used to take a 5 minute before I walk into the house, just decompress. And I'm sitting there looking at the house. And then I looked through the windshield and said, oh my God, we live here. I was living in that house that was in my visor for years,
Huh,
not even knowing it, but I manifested it.
huh,
So
huh.
I really believe in that. So that's part of that.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
The other part of my success has been learning to not be a jack of all trades. Because when I first started in real estate, I told you the origin story. The next phase was figuring out how to make money. And I would flip houses, I would wholesale houses, I'd make money on commercial leases, I'd make money on, there's 100 avenues in real estate to make money. And I've made money in many of them. But at one point, Nike came out with this slogan, I believe it was around 1990, just do it. And I said, I am doing it, but how do I do it better? And I sat down and realized I was missing one key component to success, and that is the word focus. And I
Mm,
characterize that word focus by follow one course
mm.
until successful.
Whew, mm,
So when you follow one course until you're successful, that means, hey, you stick to something until you make money or make the kind of money you want, and don't change lanes
mm,
until you do.
mm,
Because so many people see the shiny ball syndrome. They want to do
mm.
one thing one week, something else next week, and this the next week. And those people never succeed because they never get good at anything. They're just floundering around. So that's been what I consider my keys to success.
You said so many things that connect with me. When you just talked about focus, man, I love the way you broke that down. Literally, I'm looking at my phone, my lock screen. It says focus equals feelings equals function. So when I'm focused, it translates to my feelings, and my feelings translate to my function. Like how you talked about visualizing, there's a book by Dr. Caroline Leaf. She's a neuroscientist, and it's
Mhm.
called Switch On Your Brain. And
Okay.
she teaches how everybody has ability to do brain surgery on themselves. And when she say that, she says because when you start training your brain how to think, the body is designed to heal itself. The brain is designed to tell the body what to do. And so she's like, when you switch on your brain, you are literally telling your mind what to think, and you're going to tell the body is going to follow what the mind tells it to do. And so what you did talking about visualizing, every day you get rewiring on your brain to say, hey, this is what we're going after. This is what we're focusing on. All those feelings when you're tired, when you're hungry, all those feelings still, this is still what we're going after. Yeah, you're tired, but this is what we still going after. And became second nature where you didn't have to spend time necessarily thinking about it. You just rewired your brain to say, no, this is what we're going after. So it makes sense why you didn't realize you was in the house. And so you kind of like had a moment. You was like, oh man, I'm here. Because the brain was like, oh yeah, we've been working for like 3 years. We was
Yeah.
gonna get this thing. And so
Yeah.
like I said, so much of what you said really, really resonated. And I'm so glad it came from you so that our viewers can see the validity of what you're saying, the validity of 40 years of success, the validity of being an immigrant from Haitian to not even knowing, about the entrepreneurship that was in you until like you was like, well, I'm already in it. It's in my blood. The confidence that you had. It makes so much sense and validity coming from you. So I'm so glad you're sharing. So
Yeah.
glad you're sharing. So listen, I gotta ask, what's the next real goal for you, Mr. Phil?
You know, to be honest, it's probably retirement.
Got you.
That's the real goal is just, let my kid pick up some of the slack of, talking to the managers. Cause I own quite a few units and I have to talk to the managers on a regular basis. And, my kids are not ready to do that just yet, but, hopefully they will be. And that way, they learn and take over. And, unlike me, I started at home plate. They're going to start on third base.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. I had a goal when I would say about 25 years ago. This was became a cognizant goal. um, I learned the scripture, Proverbs 13 and 22. And that scripture says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So
Mhm.
when I learned that scripture, I said to my kids, I'm not leaving y'all nothing. Y'all got to go out and make it because I'm
Mhm.
leaving all of this to your kids. And then you go out, you make a fortune for your kids, because that way you build generational wealth.
Yeah.
If you just leave it to your children, they're gonna
Yeah.
waste it. They don't understand the value of it.
Yeah.
I recently saw, not recently, but I saw on social media this gentleman say that, and I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
He said that his great grandfather walked to work.
Mm.
His father was fortunate enough to have a bicycle.
Mm.
He was fortunate enough to have a car.
Mm.
And his son is fortunate enough to have a luxury car, but his great grandson will be walking again.
Mm.
Okay. And the reason for that is because strong men make easy times make weak men.
Mm.
You feel that?
Feel that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ooh, I'm sitting in that for a moment, man. That's
And if you follow, some of the wealth of this country, the Bill Gateses, the Warren Buffetts, have you ever said that they want to leave anything to their children? You hear what they say.
yep.
They say their children are going to be left with a nice amount of money, but the
Yep.
bulk of that is,
Yeah.
being donated to different things of that nature. But I understood what they meant by that. They didn't want to leave the kid lazy,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and not building anything for themselves, because all they're going to do is waste that fortune, and all your hard work goes to nothing, because it's generationally you're not going to be that family. And people
Yeah.
from our community have to understand, like, when grandma bought that house and paid it off, you can't just go sell it, man.
Yeah.
That's equity for the future. And you know that's what they have to understand.
Yeah. So listen, man, you brought scripture into this. I'm not trying to make this y'all a religious podcast. I just want to say this saying from the Bible, right? I just want to say this saying from the Bible because I think it kind of coincides with what you just said. The Bible said that Jesus learned obedience through suffering. There is something, actually, there's scientifically, your brain, when your brain does hard things, it releases a chemical and releases a certain part in your brain that would never be touched if it did not go through just hard times. When you overcome a hard situation, it releases a chemical in your brain that would never get touched if it wasn't for the hard time. I'm saying that to say there is a beauty in working hard. There is a beauty in, I know it's a strong word, in suffering. There's a beauty when you have to really be intentional, mix your confidence with hard work, mix your confidence with discipline, mix your confidence with grit, mix your confidence with losing 27,000. Thank the Lord it wasn't gonna be a foreclosure. Like he's like, listen, I'm silver. I'm gonna teach you something, but I'm gonna work with you at the same
Yeah.
time. You know, there's a beauty in building something from the ground up. And
Absolutely.
so I find exceptional beauty in your story. I find exceptional beauty in the way you think, and the fact that you're leaving something for your children's children. And so, Mr. Phil, I say all that to say, man, I really appreciate you being here today. I knew that this podcast, this episode would drop nuggets. I just didn't know these nuggets was gonna be this shiny and this heavy. So
Yeah. Thank you for having me on, man.
yeah.
Anytime I get on and share some positivity and some insight to the next generation, I feel real good about that.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. I think you're doing what you're supposed to do. The old men, not just no disrespect. The ones that seasoned, they're called because they're wise. The young ones are called because they're strong. So there has to be a confluence. Listen, the younger you're strong, but you need this wisdom. And so today you gave this wisdom, and I appreciate you, sir.
Okay.
If anybody wanted to contact you, collaborate with you, get to know you a little bit better, how can they get in contact with you, sir?
LinkedIn is probably the best place. Phil Georges. I am first in that category.
Yeah.
I've done it myself. They can also go to my website, multifamilygraduate.com, if they're looking to get some coaching and learning about, how to get in multifamily, because it's a very lucrative business. And,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
Absolutely. Well, listen, sir, I got to say, man, I thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I thank you for your story. Definitely thank you for your perspective, the way you think. I appreciate you, man, so much for coming through today.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So listen now, y'all know y'all got the value, y'all heard the nuggets. Listen, make sure you are subscribed. I tell you time after time, we are going to continue to bring up amazing people just like Mr. Phil. So Mr. Phil, thank you again. And everyone else, we'll see you on the next time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.